Hi guys, welcome to a video about the Dhar Cinematic Universe, or the DCU. Chapter 1. This chapter consists of a lot of well, actually, there only is like 2 chapters. Which I know it's only 2 chapters, but blah blah blah, I don't care, okay? There's only 2 chapters. So, a lot of things that I've noticed, like one thing that I've noticed, yeah, guys, there's not gonna be any like actual piano, and just I thought that. But okay, one of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot of racism in Darman. Like a lot, like almost unnecessary. Almost like a third of the videos that he makes has racism inside of it. And so what I'm thinking is Darman in an alternate timeline where the racist years when like racism was like heavily tolerated and like a lot of racist people. What if that like never left? Like, you know what I mean? Except it got a little better, but still heavy racism happened. Like, for example, in the Darman Cinematic Universe, it is proven that black people cannot make a lot of money now, even. So, is Darman trying to take place in the alternate timeline? Or is it? Which it probably is. It's probably taking place in an alternate timeline where heavy racism years never went away and only got fixed a little bit. Now that's very... He makes videos for kids. And yes, people do get proven wrong at the end. They still, like, a third of his videos have some type. Like, it's excessive, seriously. So I'm wondering if racism is more tolerated in the Darman Cinematic Universe. Because if it is, well, that's pretty bad. And another thing I've realized is that everyone can afford their homes, even if they don't get paid that much. Do you want to know how I know this? Well, a lot of reasons why people in the Darman Cinematic Universe loses their jobs. Well, not why they lose their job, why they get, like... Oh my gosh, can this... Basically what I'm saying is that I think everyone in the Darman Cinematic Universe makes about, like, what I'm trying to say is everyone, literally everyone that has a job has a house. Like, there isn't anyone in the whole Darman Cinematic Universe that is homeless and has a job. So basically, what I'm trying to say is maybe it works differently in the Darman Cinematic Universe, because in some places in the world, there probably are some unfortunate people who can't have a house even though they have a job. But in the Dhar cinematic universe, this is never shown. So, what do I think? I think that the Dhar cinematic universe is kind of like double-edged sword, because it has a lot of bad stuff and a lot of good stuff. Like, everybody's getting paid equally, and the bad thing is that, well, you know, what I was talking about earlier. So like, another thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of car crashes in the Dhar cinematic universe. Like, there's no, oh, blah, 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 oh, this. There is a couple of times where, like, only, like, very few times. Very, 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 very limited amounts of times that someone gets, like, something happens to them that isn't a car crash. Very, very few instances, which that makes me think, are driving teachers more laid back? Which is a bad thing. Like, what if in the because it seems like in the Dhar cinematic universe, there's a lot of, like, car crashes, like I said, but there never seems to be any driving instructors. Have you noticed that? Well, I certainly have. So what if everybody that got their driver's license, and we never see someone get a new driver's license, so it seems, what if people in the Dhar cinematic universe are more advanced in making fake stuff, like fake driver's licenses? And another thing I've seen while watching Dhar videos is, like, how do I put this? There's a lot of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. It's not very good. I don't want to say it. So, again, all the people who do the stuff, we never really see them go to jail. Well, there is one single so basically, there's one scene where, like, bad cop, good cop. There is, like, one tiny little scene that has, where we do see someone go to jail because of, you know. And the only instance is when it's planted on him by a cop. And so what I'm thinking is that Dhar in the Dhar cinematic universe, stuff is produced a lot more heavily, industrially, almost like if it was, like, basically what I'm saying is, there's, like, why is it being produced on an industrial scale to where almost every single like basically what I'm saying is for every, let's say, 20 or 30 Dharman videos, there's at least 2 people who do, stuff. And, coincidence? I think, well, no, but to the point where so many people have it, it's almost suspicious. Like, of course, some people have it today, but like, so many people have access to it. It's being produced industrially, so what if it's disguised as something else? And what do we see? A lot in the show. I mean, not in the show, in the Starman cinematic universe. Sorry. Wait, I forgot what it was. There's a lot of, I don't know. But, like, what I'm trying to say is, what if they were carried in packages misleading? Kind of, you know what I mean? So, yeah. That was awkward to talk about. Yeah. Okay, chapter 2. Now this chapter is going to consist of anything, really. So let's just begin. Now, when watching Dharman, some people think it's bad or good, which I agree that it's good. I don't agree with the people who say it's bad, because it's actually quite good. It's quite good content. But it's being uploaded a little, like, do you ever thought, like, where Dharman videos come from? Like, of course they're acted and scripted, but I mean, not in real life, but from the Dharman cinematic universe. Like, from that point, who records the actual videos? Like, if you know what I mean, like, how can someone just record and it's not news? Some random guy stealing money from a countertop in one of the videos. Well, it's probably hiding right in front of your eyes. What if what if some of the jobs in the Dharman cinematic universe, and why so many people get fired from their jobs are because they're spies, and they try to warn people that they're being recorded. Like, it doesn't have to be true, but I mean, all the evidence, really. There's people who are, even though, like, they're holding it from awkward angles that people would see them, what if they're, like, using zoom? Like, what if they're zooming in instead of actually being right there? And a lot of people get fired because they try to tell the people that they're spies and that blah, blah, blah. Now, I know we're not supposed to think how, this video got to us in the Dharman cinematic universe, but, like, yeah, I'm thinking about it right now. Dharman lore. And so, yeah. Now, my final thoughts, which are chapter 3, is some stuff that I'm going to say we're still in chapter 2. Chapter 3 is the end. Is that the Soul Snack and like Severe Bob Nani and all those channels that are fake, like copying Darman. I think those are in a more mad civilization, or in a different timeline entirely, but I don't think it's in a different timeline, because it's also extremely racist, which of course is a bad thing. Don't be racist. Come on. What was I just saying? But the reason why I do think is that Darman is like in a separate world in a different city. And then all the different channels are taking place in different parts of the Darman cinematic universe. And a lot of the stuff that's like rebranded so like Darman doesn't get sued or something, it's still there. Like, even though it's a separate universe, it's still there. That never changed. Like in the Addison Day or Addison Ray or whatever the heck. And so basically what I'm saying is that what am I trying to say? Is that this is still on Earth, it's just on a different timeline where different things happened. So